To the families in Flint, it is my responsibility, my commitment to deliver. I give you my commitment that Michigan will not let you down.
Governor Rick Snyder spent the bulk of his State of the State address Tuesday night addressing the water crisis in Flint. The city's tap water is contaminated with toxic levels of lead due in part to regulatory failures and Snyder's lack of an aggressive response to the crisis. Snyder, who has apologized and is now stepping up his efforts amid widespread criticism and even calls for his resignation, outlined his plan for fixing the problem.
This month, I issued an executive order to ensure that state and local leaders have everything they need to clean up this mess. Ensure that anyone with lingering healthcare concerns is quickly, compassionately, and effectively treated.
So how did Flint get into the situation? The trouble has been brewing for months in the city, which still hasn't recovered from the impact the auto industry's downturn had on labor unions and the people in Flint. State officials believe lead began leaking from the service lines and plumbing into drinking water when the city temporarily switched its water source to the Flint River in 2014.
But I can tell you today that we need state and federal assistance for the people to feel comfortable. We need some help.
In a cost-cutting measure, Flint stopped using Detroit's water system before Flint could begin receiving water from another authority in 2016. The city stopped using river water this fall only after the extent of contamination was exposed. So how big is the problem? The percentage of children in Flint with elevated levels of lead has nearly doubled from 2.1% before using water from the Flint River to 4% in 2015, according to a report released in September by a medical center in the city. Snyder and Flint officials have already pledged their support, but they're also calling in more help from the National Guard and for federal economic support. President Obama declared a federal emergency in Michigan on Saturday, which frees up as much as $5 million in federal aid and toward bottled water, filter, and other supplies for Flint residents. Snyder says he remains committed to Flint.
These are the facts of what we've done and what we're doing. But just as important as solving short-term needs and improving any long-term solutions, we need to make sure this never happens again in any Michigan city.